Hey guys, so I wanted to share with you a snippet of my bridal lesson from the Industry Makeup Academy Makeup Artist Pro certification. So this is what I taught on one of my weekend certification courses. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you're interested in enrolling, I'll have more information at the end. Enjoy! Okay, so we're just going to put this all over. Ideally, you want to have this sink into her skin a little bit. If you don't have time, you can always just blot it away. What other kind of moisturizer am I going to put in the very beginning? Nope, not sunscreen.
Like the primer?
Nope, like what would I moisturize besides your face? Yep. So we always do the lips first. Give it time to sink in. I would write down this lip moisturizer. I would write down the face moisturizer. And what I would do too is I would tell her, see how your makeup holds, like wear it throughout the day, like as if it was really your big day. And let me know if anything, like if you get oily or if anything didn't work, if you didn't like something, and I'll adjust it. Okay, so I'm going to put some primers on her now. Primer is your friend when it comes to wedding makeup.
You just put on the same moisturizer?
No, lip moisturizer.
Lip moisturizer.
Yeah. Because you don't, and if she has any dead skin on her lips, you want to give her a lip scrub. I don't try to do it myself because I don't want to bleed and hurt her, so she can rub it in with her lips, her fingers, and then wipe it away. If you don't have a lip scrub, if you don't buy one, you can always do like sugar and honey, make your own. Some people carry just sugar packets in their kit and they just mix it with lip moisturizer. Just do what works for you, but you definitely need it because there are going to be some brides who have really chapped lips and you can't just moisturize that away. You have to kind of sloth it off. So we're doing the green primer. So this is a silicone based primer. Do you guys remember what the ingredient is in silicone based primers? Good job. So this is going to cancel out the redness as well as provide an even surface. So that way it can kind of fill in any lines, make the foundation glide on really smooth.
And so for this, what kind of brush are you using? Is it natural?
This is always, foundation brushes are for the most part synthetic. You might find some natural ones, yeah. Why is it synthetic?
Because it doesn't absorb.
It doesn't absorb the product, good job. All right, so we're gonna do airbrush, yay! Okay, so when it comes to airbrush, I like to carry some different formulas in my kit. I have a water base as well as a silicone base. So the silicone base will give you more of that dewy look. So I'm gonna use the silicone based one. So this is Temp 2. This is like one of the most popular airbrush brands. Temp 2, T-E-M-P-T-U. Another one is Ket, K-E-T-T. So what I'm going to do is swatch this on her skin to see if this is a match as well. Because we want it to match her body. Because she's a little bit tanner right here. So this is a pretty good match. So I like to conceal and do all that stuff beforehand, so you don't have to put as much on. She's salmon under her eyes. And then I'm going to do a little bit of the green for the redness on her cheeks. And like I said, we're doing the method where we're only concealing where she needs it. And then I'm going to mix in like a foundation shade into her green. So that way it kind of does it a little bit of a olive tone to the foundation. I'm going to use my nifty blender brush. Okay, look up for me. And we're only putting it where we need it, which is right here. Alright, so then we're going to do the touch-up.
So you mix all of that together?
I did just the salmon by itself, and then I mix, see the green tint to the foundation a little bit? So that way I don't have to do the two different steps. Okay. Yeah. But do you see how that covers it?
Yeah.
So like I'm doing this so I don't have to put as much foundation on. Some people have different methodologies. They'll do foundation first. It just depends on your preference. Close your eyes. 6 to 10 inches away from the face. And always circular motions. And you should kind of start to see the skin improve as opposed to look like you're slapping foundation on. See how I'm moving it? Otherwise you'll get like a spot like and you want to just be like an even sheer coverage. You don't want it to look wet. If it's wet, then you're putting too much on. People kind of like the airbrush of the bride because it's kind of special. You always want to blend it just like how you would for anything else, like kind of go down to the neck, do the ears, around the nose. Like I said, it's good because it's not like you're touching the skin, so you won't wipe away coverage. And I'm going back and forth because I don't want it to get too wet. Build it in light layers. In general, that's how makeup should be, building in light layers. Because it lasts longer, it looks more natural. And I'm going to go down a shade. I like to do a little bit of a highlight, so I'm going to go down to a lighter shade and apply that in the center of her face. This is a highlight in the center of the face. Like I said, when it comes to airbrush, you're not seeing the foundation, you're just seeing like an improvement to the skin. You can even do it to the point where it's so fine that you're doing eyeliner with airbrush. So I'm just going to go with a lighter powder. So, see, you have to be careful not to touch it like I just did it with my finger because you'll leave a little thumbprint. So be careful not to touch it. Sometimes the airbrush might have like little spurts, and I'll use like a pixelated brush, like one of these dual ones like that, because it's got like the fine surface, and it will kind of fix it for you. But you have to be careful because it's wet paint essentially. Okay, and then I'm gonna get some of more of a skin tone on her. And this is just to set. I'm not really trying to add coverage. Just try and make it not wet, okay? So, I'm gonna let that sit for a second and then go to the eyes. So, what do I do first?
Primer.
This is very important. Like, some people will do concealer just as a primer, but for a wedding, I like eyeshadow primer because this will really, really last. Concealer essentially works too because it lightens up the base, but doesn't have the staying power that an eye primer has. Alright, so we're gonna go for something pretty natural. Like I said, she likes pinks, so you can incorporate pink into the look. If you don't have pink eyeshadow, you can always use blush. So, yeah. So I also asked, like, in terms of makeup, do you like more of a natural look, medium, or glam?
Medium.
Medium, yeah. Because if they'll tell you if they're natural, and that's when you know what to do. If this was a real bride, I would be doing 2 eyeshadow looks. I'm not going to because we gotta go to lunch. Alright, so I like to put this blending shade down first because it's gonna help my blending later. It's like the little barrier between the highlight and the lid color. That makes it so much easier to blend. And then we're gonna go with a lid color. So I'm kind of going with the pinky tones that she likes. And if you do shimmer on the eye, it's best to do it just on the lid. So that way you're not having the camera reflect anything that's not supposed to be reflected. If this was a more mature skin client, though, you remember, you gotta be careful with the shimmer. But you see, once you start to get used to the makeup, you know your products, you know what you like, you know how it lays down, you're just applying it and moving on. So then I'm just going to contour the eye. Like, this is my basic bridal look on everybody, kind of like a shimmery, smoky eye. And it's got the pink tone she likes. Sometimes I'll do a bronze if they don't like this pinky tone. Remember I said a clean brush is always your friend, so blend everything together. And then we'll put a little tear duct shimmer. That's always pretty on everybody.
Should we close or open?
Yeah, close. Right here on the tear duct. That's what makes a dewy bride too, that little tear duct action. So in terms of your brows, how do you like your brow look to be? Do you want it more natural, a little bit more defined and filled in?
I like them defined, but not Instagram.
Okay. So let's see. Let's brush this up. And then you know, if they're scared of the brows, you know, I would just see like, you know, you have a really good brow shape in the front. I'm just going to extend it a little bit, like on the tail, where they might be missing some hair. This is the concealing underneath the brow, so that way I get the highlight as well as cleaning up the shape. So I always use like a smaller concealer brush right here to kind of clean that up. And if you go too high with the eyeshadow, this is where you can kind of bring it back down. So with her, I'm gonna, you know, with eyeliner, people are very sensitive with their eyeliners too. Some people like it really thin. Some people don't like the wing, so you have to ask about that. Because not everybody likes eyeliner, like, you know, not everybody loves eyeliner like makeup artists. Alright, so I'm just, since she wants natural, I'm going to do a little wing, but nothing crazy, so. Eyeliner just makes a big difference, so. So I'm going to start it pretty light. Open. And that's just going to be my judge, you know, because you don't want to go too heavy and then be like, oh, can't go back. It's something that you kind of have to just get used to as a makeup artist.
Because wherever you think it is, go like $1 million.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's like anything, you'll get used to putting it on people, but it's tricky, especially getting it on other people. So like I said, I like to use a brown in the lower lash line, just because it's a little bit less harsh than black. And a lot of times I'll do just like halfway, because I don't want to close the eye in completely. And I'm going to put this clear brow gel before I forget. And I'm actually going to go back under her eyes with a little bit more concealer when I'm finished. Alright, lashes. So we already talked about lashes, you know, trying to convince the person to use them. I'm telling you. And those pictures, it's just worth it. So I'm just going to measure this on her eye. And at this point, I would actually like show it to her and be like, do you like the way this looks? Open. Because I want, you know, I don't want to, if it's too much, I don't want to place it on there and waste a lash. So when it comes to contour, remember how we did it with the creams, but you could also do it with the powders too. We're showing you different ways. Okay, now blush. Blush is a bride's friend. Okay, let's throw in a little highlight while we're up here. Oh, I have a cream highlight. Let's just use it just to use it. So with these highlights, you have like a yellow, pink, and a bronze. You could use on her pretty much the yellow or the pink. This is like for deeper skin tones. And then you could set that with a coordinating powder, just so that way it lasts. You see that how it adds back into the skin?
Really does make some nice contrast with the blush.
Alright, let me finish her lower lash line. I'm going to set that pencil I put in there. When it comes to the lower lash line, I really like it to be blended. I don't want it to be a line, I just want it to be like a shadow. So I put it down first, and now I'm using a pencil brush just to kind of diffuse the line. You could also put powder there, like on your pencil brush, and it'll help diffuse it for you. Alright, so we would do waterproof mascara. So remember what I said, fill the whole lip in, because you want to stain. So when they eat, that's one of the bride's pet peeves, like they'll eat and then all their lip product will come out and they're like, oh, on my pictures I don't have lip stuff on. So if you do a stain like this first, it'll kind of help it last. Also, that's why you give them the lip product to touch up with. So then we're going to put like a mauve lip color on her. So the lip liner is your friend because if you didn't like quite hit all the spots with a lipstick, you can just kind of clean up. You don't want to leave it looking like not completely done. And open up a little bit. You always want to hit these corners. People leave those corners out a lot. Okay, and I'm just going to set her one last time. Close. And then I'm just going to come back in with this. This is where you have to be a little bit OCD. Just to kind of get those final touches. And I'm going to blend in that lip line. So here's the before and after. Check out makeupbyrenren.com for a full list of products, pictures, and all that good stuff. And if you're interested in taking my Makeup Artist Pro certification, visit www.ima-atlanta.com. I will have my next weekend certification in the first week of November and the next night class certification beginning October 17th, 2016. Hope you guys enjoy. Until next time, hope you guys have a great night. Ciao, Bellas.